Hiya guys, Spectre here. Welcome back to more Total War Warhammer 3. Continuing my Kugath Plaguefather campaign. Before we get into the video, as you'll have probably seen this by now, at least I'm hoping so. But if you're new around here, this is where the subscribe button is on the main page, and this is where it is on a video. If you're not subscribed, please just hit the sub button. I'm trying to get on the YouTube partner program. I need 1,000 subscribers. It's completely free. If you can help me get there, I'd be immensely grateful. Cheers guys. With that said, let's get into the video. Right, I think we were dealing with Imric here, we are. Imric's reared his head, he's level 50 as well, which is quite terrifying. I mean, I'm on level 35 on Kugath. And it's not like I've had a campaign where I've not been doing much, I've been pretty much fighting the bulk of the time.
I bow only before the dragon.
It sounds like as well, with the new Lord that Cathay have got, they've got a decent Lord choice now, because the Lord choice before were crap. So now you've got a decent Lord choice. So maybe that might be what they'll also do with other factions that were still waiting for like a certain Lord or a certain hero. Like adding Chaos Cultists from the Demon factions into the Warriors of Chaos. And then they've already added Exalted Champions into the Demons. So they've got one of our, in fact 2 of our heroes, because they've got the Chaos Sorcerers as well. But we haven't got the Chaos Cultist. And the Cultists are actually... My god, he lost almost the entire army, the idiot. The Cultists are more accurately portrayed in the Warriors of Chaos because they're the mortal factions. And then hopefully that should give us a replenishment hero. Which is what we need. We need somebody with replenishment for Warriors of Chaos. They're drastically missing out on that. And then as for like your greenskins, you've got your Goblin Great Shamans, you've got your Goblin Warlords. I think you've got Orc Shaman Lord as far as I'm aware, that might just be Wurzag, I'm not sure. You've got Orc Warboss, but what you need is a Black Orc or an Orc Warlord, but you need a Black Orc Warlord. Obviously the difference being though, Black Orc Warlords would be like Grimgore. They wouldn't have mounts, they'd just be on foot. Or maybe ride a boar. So if you took like a normal Orc Warlord, you could get a Wyvern. A Black Orc Warlord probably wouldn't ride one of those. So you'd have like a difference in mounts. Because some might argue, why would you take an Orc Warlord over a Black Orc Warlord if a Black Orc Warlord just got better stats overall and is better at killing characters? Well, an Orc Warlord will give you tactical flexibility. It will allow you to have a flyer in there, the big terror causing unit. And maybe give you maybe give you some like a minor yellow tree to help like Orc boys and big guns. And where a Black Orc Warlord might obviously tailor his buff towards Black Orcs. It's kind of like the difference between a Skaven Warlord and a Skaven Master Assassin. They're both melee characters, but one's more subtle in his nature, and obviously he's good at taking out characters, but he's not good in a prolonged melee. Where a Skaven Warlord who can also ride a Rat Ogre, he can get stuck right in the middle of melee and he doesn't really care. He'll just fight it out. But he can also kill characters to a similar degree as the Assassin. So I've got a little bit more faith now. They'll probably introduce the heroes that we need. But if they don't, and it's like a year or so down the line, I will call them out on it. I'll be like, look, we're missing this hero that the demons have got, Warriors of Chaos haven't. Why haven't we got this hero? And why haven't we got a replenishment hero? You've got Exalted Champions for training. You've got your Sorcerer for that magic item drop chance. We need a hero with replenishment. That is ridiculously important to melee-based factions. Every faction needs to have one. I think Beastmen have got one, because Beastmen have got the Beastman hero guy. Because I know the Minotaur does the training.
Our enemies are but specimens. Specimens required.
Well, I traded that to Clannishin to get the benefits.
I must test my contagion. Such power! How fascinating. An aid to the plague crusade. No wondrous day.
I mean, he might retreat. I mean, he also might not.
I bring grande fathers will. Your flesh will humble.
Lord of States.
I'll liberate you from life.
Could do. Which could be useful. Who's got paroxysm? That one. Give me that.
Death, decay, and rebirth.
Where's the hero? Oh, did it just cast it on that? Oh my god. Wanted a cultist, not to put it on the goddamn settlement. Fucking hell. It's no good in our settlements. That one only lasts 2 more turns. I'm going to go and put it on his. It's going to play out with his ability to recruit.
I bring the plague gift. Nurgle's uncleanest. The Fly Master.
Yeah, I thought as much.
Maggots in mouth. Father's here.
Embrace despair.
Even the law
Now he's got 4 units there. which might make it more of an even fight, because I've got 5, so I don't outnumbered by 1 unit. He might go for that. And instead of declaring war on Grimgor, actually, because Grimgor is an option, I could always just bring Kugath back and we could just plough under Imric. And the forces have gone that direction. I don't understand this back and forth war that's been going on lately with Archaon and Astrogoth Ironhand and the Chaos Dwarves. They're supposed to be allies. I mean, to be completely honest, I mean, at least for Archaon and the champions, so like Festus, Valkyr, Village, and Sigvald, or Azazel, technically both of them actually, as well as now the Changeling, they should all have a non-aggression pack to start with all the Chaos Dwarf factions, all 3 of them, because they trade with the Chaos Dwarves. There shouldn't be a possibility of them going to war unless the Chaos Dwarves or someone does something stupid. So he's attacking the small army. We're getting a Pyrrhic victory, but he's still dying. I'll take it. Whoa, 6,000 from that. Even with his main army lost, he didn't lose much balance of power. I mean, he has got quite a lot of settlements, but fucking hell. So look at that amount of armies that fucking Deathmaster's got though, Jesus. And this, from my perspective anyway, this is the first campaign with the Deathmaster has actually beaten the forces of Cathay. Every campaign I've played so far, Cathay has always won. And it's either one of the Cathay factions is really fucking strong, or both of them are. Like, both are like in the top 10 factions. Or usually you get one like, say, strength 30-40, and then one that's strength like 1 or 2, something like that. And they're like own the majority of the territories. So it's good to see the Deathmaster can still win stuff and be a problem. Because obviously he was one of the Doomtide factions in Warhammer 2. It was either him or Clan Laws, based on who confederated who. Every now and then you might see it from Ikit Claw, but that was a lot more rare because you used to have problems with Wood Elves. But the only other faction was the Dark Elves, either by Malekith or Marathi. And the Dark Elves and Marathi can still Doomtide, which is good. Clan Wars doesn't really much anymore. I think it might have been because he confederated Deathmaster and got all his territories that he was able to like Doomtide. So, you don't see Clan Wars as much anymore. Every time I've seen Clan Wars so far, they're in like single figure settlements and they generally either just stay like that or they die off, get killed off. Even with Scarbrand nearby, but the AI doesn't know how to play Scarbrand properly. because obviously it's a sacking faction. They need to come up with 3 different brains for the AI. They need your standard Occupy brain, which is for the majority of factions, where you're going around occupying and colonising settlements. They need your sacking brain, where they need to occupy some key settlements to recruit their units, but then they just go around sacking and destroying everything else. And they need that for like Scarbrand, they need that for Kugath, or sack and occupy if they're not destroying. Because you sack and destroy as Scarbrand, but you can sack and occupy as Kugath, you can sack and occupy as Greenskins. You can sack and destroy actually as Drycha and the Wood Elf factions, because they don't really have any value in the settlements outside of the trees.
Our father has a plan.
I suppose that battle's over, I suppose.
I do. Our father's love.
And the third brain they need is a horde brain. They need a horde brain for horde-based armies. So at the moment, your only real horde-based armies are Beastmen, obviously, so for your 4 Beastmen, Legendary Lords, and then Nakai. But Nakai is like a hybrid horde army, because while he does have buildings on himself, what he recruits from, he leaves behind a vassal that controls his territories. But he's still benefiting more from a horde AI brain than either of the other 2. And then you want a sacking brain as well for the Norskins. They're pure sacking factions for what they can do, for how much they can sack for. The only problem at the moment with Norskins, and this is something for CA to fix, is because they get more sacking based off of their tech tree, they need to put sacking onto the Norskin chieftains rather than post-battle loot. I mean, post-battle loot potentially could be on there as well, but they definitely need the 15% from sacking. That is definitely really important for them to have. They need a melee tree on for the I got 2. They need a melee tree on for the Norscan War Chiefs, so they can increase their melee stats, so they can be a bit more useful than just being sat on a mammoth, but then having crap melee attack and defense. And where a basic mammoth actually has better stats than your lord. That's not how that should be. But then they need to also go onto the tech tree and add in every single faction. Every faction should be on the Norseman's tech tree. Every single one. I don't care if they're good, evil, whatever, they should all be on it. Because at the start of your campaign, you start out fighting a lot of evil guys. They're what's around you, you don't have a choice in the matter. So, they need to give you that tactical option. Unless that's the way they intend it to be, where basically, look, you're not getting benefits to sacking against these factions because you're not supposed to be fighting them. But if that's the case, then they need to improve Norska's relations, like their base relations, with the factions around them. And maybe even put a technology or 2 into the tree So you get increased relations with Norscans, Warriors of Chaos, Demons of Chaos, and Chaos Dwarves. So then you can research those techs and get, say, I don't know, like 30 or 40 more relations per turn, and counteract and beat any aversion you might have. Also, they could just get rid of an aversion as well entirely. So like if you have like a -10 aversion, just get rid of that. Because if you're going to have that in there, it shouldn't be a possibility of you going to war with your own guys if you're not going to get benefits from sacking their settlements. So then the game's basically telling you to go and fight factions that basically aren't chaos related. Which, don't get me wrong, it does make sense that they shouldn't be fighting chaos related factions. It does. I mean, in the lore-wise, it doesn't. Because in the lore-wise, they will obviously fight amongst themselves and fight other chaos guys. But they
Flame sword, ready. Join together under grandfather.
do rally together when they're going against the forces of good to go and kill them.
Fight as one. We shall spread grandfather's festering love to all we face. The great gift of death.
Whoa. Okay, that just evaporated an entire unit. In fact, think about what? No, them.
I bring the blight. Salted hero. Recall. Incense. Glorious mutilation! Nurgle's mightiest child.
In fact, I'll still fight here. Yeah, I've got a motor engine effect, has he?
The Blade Father expects. Not a child.
That one cast, Jesus. That unit just got deleted. I lost one guy after all those arrows. See, that's why, again, proving a point there, because they had Lothern Sea Guard, another Lothern Sea Guard unit, and 3 units of regular archers firing at me. They killed one single Chaos Warrior. That's it, that's all they killed. And these are just regular Chaos Warriors. These ones are chosen, but these are regular Chaos Warriors. And these ones haven't even got shields. So they've got less protection against missiles. And they only killed one guy. That's what happens when you've got non-armor piercing range units against heavily armoured targets. You're not going to kill jack shit. You need some armor piercing units in there to combat armoured units. That's why I don't think like an Ice Guard Doomstack for Kislev will work. Because it's missing that one key trait, armor piercing. If you go up against a heavily armoured army, they're going to walk right over you. Sisters of Avalon will work. Celestial Dragon Guard will work. You can chuck in things like handgunners for the Empire. You can have Streltsy for Kislev. But again, you can't make an entire army out of them, because they fire direct line of sight, where archers and crossbowmen fire up and over. So then you can basically like checkerboard formation if you want to. So you probably have to have like 4, maybe 5 units of armor piercing on the front. But you're going to rely on them to win your battle against a heavily armoured army. So then you've got to protect them with some melee units, so they don't get embroiled in combat. Because the units behind them basically need to be targeting like more lower armoured units. Targets they can actually kill. If they're heavily armoured, as proving the point there. I mean, I vanguarded as well, so they got less shots off. But they still got off quite a few salvos, and they killed one guy. Just one. And that said in the auto-resolve it was going to wipe out 2 units. A unit of Chaos Warriors and a unit of Spawn. The Spawn potentially could have been wiped out because they've got low armour and they're a big target. Which is why I didn't put the Spawn in the battle, apart from these 2 that have got enough health. But the Chaos Warriors I knew for a fact weren't going to get wiped out. Not against non-armor piercing missiles. Not going to happen. And if they're shooting at ones with shields as well, where they've got like 30-35% block chance or more, it's basically like a 30-35% ward save against small missiles from the front, on top of their armour. So it's insanely good. And that's sometimes what you can do, is if you know you've got a decent unit with shields and a decent unit without, you can always deploy your shield units up front first, so they're the first ones to reach combat, and also get in range of any missiles. And then your armor piercing ones follow them up with a charge afterwards, and they've taken little to even no damage from any missiles, because they're shooting your ones with shields first. I'm just going to occupy it because I ain't got the movement to sack it and then do it, and even then it's not a lot, it's 2,000.
Father Nagel!
I promise you a slow death.
Hey, he's now got Pestilent Decay, so he's now a Mortis Engine. So you could actually make Pestilent Decay by level 12 if you don't put points into like I've done down here, like with these.
A new way to share Nurgle's love.
Your flesh will bubble.
Just make sure we're not getting fucked by missiles.
The Fly Master! others here.
Cultist.
Will be recovered in 2 turns.
Infect all around.
Cultist of the Fly Lord.
Kugath, a plague father. So be it. That disease, Weaver. Nurgle's chosen. Is within.
A blessing. Her father's love.
Fathers.
Right.
To touch a dragonborn is blasphemy.
The Plague Weaver.
One thing I'd really do hate about the magic stuff is when it bottoms out and you lose 10% physical. Wish they'd take that shit off there. They need to take off the physical resistance loss and the leadership loss. Because both of them are massive. And they need to probably put a leadership gain on there. See, it's like you get 3 negatives down here and only 2 positives up here. How's that right? You get campaign movement range, big whoop. Melee defense, you then need something else up there as well. So they should give you like, what is that? So I give you like +5 leadership. Something like that, or +8 leadership. But yeah, they need to change that. But I suppose they could keep it at 2 if they get rid of the 2 off the bottom of there. So then rather than losing leadership and physical resistance, so you lose casualty replenishment and then lose either melee attack or melee defense by a bit. So lose like 5% melee attack or defense. I'd rather lose that than lose leadership and physical resistance. Because physical resistance is your toughness for your units. And as I've already shown in this campaign, how bad, for the most part generally, unless they're buffed to hell, bad Demon's leadership actually is. Demon's leadership is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Theirs is 65 at base. Theirs is 70, which is not bad, but that's the same as like what a regular, well, it's not even the same as regular Chaos Warrior. Regular Chaos Warriors have got more than them, and they're the very elite foot soldier of Nurgle. I mean, we have a look at Chosen. Chosen have got 80 fucking 5. They've got 15 more leadership than technically their equivalent in Demons. That's massive. Absolutely massive. That's a massive amount of leadership. And by losing half your damage reduction, your physical resistance, and then also losing leadership as well, means you're not only going to get hurt more often, you then when you do come to decay, you're going to decay faster because your leadership's lower. So you're going to decay sooner. So the withering effect's going to kick in far quicker. And then once you start withering, that's it, you're dead. Your unit's gone. Mortal units are just so more durable than demons are. Now I understand as well, don't get me wrong, I understand demons aren't part of the natural world. So they are unstable in regions that aren't heavy in chaos corruption. But that's where the thing comes in. They aren't heavy in chaos corruption. So what you could say is, if demon units are fighting in an area that has, say, 70 or more, or 75 or more Chaos Corruption, be it Undivided or any of the other types, they are then stable in that area. So they can either gain true Unbreakable, or their physical resistance becomes a ward save. Because they're in a heavily tainted Chaos area, they shouldn't have the same drawbacks as in an untainted area. So the weakness should kick in when they go into an untainted zone. But if they're defending like their home territory, they should be strong as fuck. Why do you think the good guy forces can't assault the Chaos Wastes? Because up there they can't get rid of the taint of Chaos. It's that strong, it'd mutate your soldiers and drive them mad. Or they just get ripped apart by the roaming beast that have all been mutated by Chaos itself. And the army's up in the Chaos Waste because demons are basically without number. Their armies are limitless. And up there, they're at full strength. Because the Chaos Corruption is permanent all the time. What the High Elves did with the Vortex is just pushed it back so it's on the outer rim of the landmasses. So it's not all the way in. Because without a Vortex, the Chaos Corruption will quickly seep into every single territory. You'd have demons popping up everywhere at full strength. And when they've also got limitless numbers and they're strong as hell, how are you going to fight that? You don't, the world ends. But when you're, in terms of like playing the game scenario, I think the corruption should make your troops better. It should account for a lot more. And let's be honest, 20% physical for demon is crap. It really is. Maybe for your basic demons like your Nurglings and your basic Plague Bearers and stuff like that. But your exalted demons should be tougher. Your heroes should be even tougher still. And your lord should be the toughest of them all, along with the other greater demons that you can recruit and soul grinders. They should be a lot stronger. You should not have a bloody greater demon with the same physical resistance as a Plague Bearer. He's like, what, 25 feet tall? And God knows how much more bulky? It doesn't make any sense. All the demon factions need a massive rework. I'm just glad now you can recruit the mortal units. Because if it weren't for the mortal units, I probably wouldn't play the like mono gods. Because they're just, it wouldn't be fun. The campaign would be like 10 times harder than what it has to be, and you'd be losing units all the time. Because if a unit might break in like a difficult battle of mine, at least they'll run away and probably not get run down to the point where they're dead at the end of the battle. Demons destabilise, they're gone. Just the units just... And if that's like a rank 9 unit that's taken ages to rank up, you can kind of feel the sting of that loss. It's a bit bad. Rebellion? Oh, there. Ooh.
For special ends.
Oh, it's because of Skaven corruption. Actually, no. Continue up there. Go and destroy that. What I'll do is...
Death bringer.
Let me check this first though. Right, I need exactly 10 settlements.
You are here. We are here. Yes. Speak then. Yes, yes.
I'll just take that money. I'm not competing with that. And that's his province. Yeah, it's fine, it hasn't gone down. Just making sure it hasn't gone down.
Specimens required. My experiments are incomplete.
See, I think they've changed that for some reason, which I don't mind. I think it's better because it made your campaigns drag out and be a lot harder. It might have been a bug as well, I'm not entirely certain.
Sludge waits from eye.
I worship the destruction shall
Carry his plague. Pass curdles in this sun.
Let them recover.
Day.
Cultist of the plague god. Grandfather bids us march.
cultist of the Fly Lord.
Yeah, they've got that handled up there. What have we got with Imric? Imric's got 12 salmons. Yeah, we can go that way. We can push into Imric. Imric's power boss took a good dip as well.
Carry his plagues.
Is there a thing on here for... No. Right, and they've got paroxysm on there now, so that's going to, well, stop him recruiting, or at least reduce the amount he can recruit. And we get into there. That's 3 of Imric's armies dead, so he's got to recruit fresh.
The joy of disease.
What have we got in terms of the... that one's heading towards a chosen. What am I doing? That one's heading towards a chosen great weapons. Nice. That one is as well. That one's just starting out. Pig Barter ain't got it yet, which is fine. Right, I'm going to leave this part here for today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please subscribe. Drop a like. This is where your sub buttons are. Please press them. Help me out. Help me get to this 1,000 subs. Get me on that partner program. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll catch you all soon.